Hi everyone, it's me, Man Alone, and this is the only solo RPG YouTube channel filmed at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. And we're here live checking out new species, but more important than new species is new solo RPG news. And boy, do we have a lot of that to go over. Thank you. Welcome to all of my new subscribers. Wow. While I was ill, I got the present of a lifetime. I got 3,000 subscribers. Incredible. And when I hit that 3,000, I rang it in with a bout of influenza in which my voice was diminished to only about a squeak. So I am now probably 50% made of this fizz. So hopefully this will be my last one of these because I am definitely on the mend. And we have, and good thing too, because we have lots to talk about tonight. Lots of solo RPG news and fun. Now, right before I got ill, we were supposed to record the video of the winners of the I Can Solo Anything RPG Challenge. And I know it looks suspicious that I suddenly came down with a mysterious illness the night before I'm supposed to give away a bunch of prizes. And I understand if you maybe thought, oh, he hightailed it to a non-extradition country with his prizes in tow. And I want to assure you that I did consider that, but I want to, more than once. But I want to assure you that in the end, ethics and contractual obligations won out. And so because of that, we're gonna roll right into that today. We're gonna the latter 3/4 of this video is going to be the announcement of those prize winners, as well as a select few of other entrants who were showing me something. I wish that I had the time and the energy and the vocal cords to do all of the entrants, but there were 89 entries to this. Incredible. I laughed. I cried. I screamed in terror. But in the end, there are only a handful of winners, and we're going to announce those in those videos today. But first, we have a backlog of RPG news, solo RPG news. So if you are new to the channel, this is a great video to figure out whether or not you want to follow this channel. Because if you are already infuriated at me for not getting to the point, I promise you that this channel is not for you. But if you right now you're eating a bag of cheese popcorn and you're like, whatever, life will come to me at the speed it wants to, I'll sit here and listen to this guy talk about whatever, then you know what? You're in the right place. Go ahead and summary execute that like and subscribe button. God, 1 second, please. That was actually a really good cough. Very productive. Okay. So we've got some stuff to talk about. Some new shipments, some new developments. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Max Moon Games. If you didn't see, I don't know, some other video, I rolled out the red carpet. It was somewhat of a request, somewhat of a challenge to Max Moon, who is the distributor of Solitary Defilement. I said, Max, you want to get on the Man Alone train, and Max delivered. Max delivered and reached out to me, even though Max doesn't even have a YouTube channel. I didn't even tag Max. So one of you probably linked him. And because I was going to say maybe he searched for himself, but can you think about how difficult it is to search if your name is Max Moon? I mean, you can never do that like self YouTube search. You're just going to get stuff about like the moon at its max. So anyways, I'm in honor of Max's contributions to the channel. He is getting some deluxe terrain here. I would put it a little more towards the center, but I have a feeling it's going to catch the light and blind everyone. But Max reached out and said, "Hey, man alone, would you be interested in some free solo games?" And I said, yeah, Max, I would." And Max said, "Okay, well, how about I give you a shitload of stuff?" And I was like, yeah, that'll work for me. And so Max, let's just say Max delivered here. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with a game that I have been wanting to get my hands on for quite some time, which is 12 Years. 12 Years is a gorgeous solo game, sort of a zine printout by Max Moon, illustrations by Andy Weber, Max Moon, and Perplexing Ruins, friend of the channel, or at least commenter of the channel. And Perplexing Ruins, could you email me if you get a chance? I have a weird feeling we live by each other. Why don't you shoot me an email if you get a chance? That's kind of creepy. I think when I say, I'm not saying that I like live under you. Anyways, yeah, shoot me an email sometime if you're not afraid. 12 years ago today, the wild prophet returned from Fae, madness about their addled minds, starkly waving antlered tines. A smile shone of secrets learned, and visions of the known world burned. The prophets ranting hardly heard, you alone did heed their word. The king of old is risen bone, rots with hatred on his throne. The king of old in risen bone, rots with hatred on his throne. Bear the skull that bore a crown, a coronation shall lay him down. 12 years from now, if none succeed, the king's dead army on fearsome steed brazenly burns all that lives, and death becomes a welcome gift. So this is the 4th edition, printed 2023, GM-less game, and it's got a pretty cool, a couple of pretty cool things just from what I've seen. We're definitely going to do a little play of this. It's on the docket, which is like 73 games long, but I'm interested in this one. First of all, it's kind of like 4 Against Darkness. You assemble a party. It has this mechanism where you have 12 years to do this, which I like that with like a hex crawl. And then there's, overland travel and delving. There's some cool magic here, and really easy system for setting up hex crawling. But that's not all. It's like, okay, I've got my 12 years here. Pretty cool. But how about, let's see, how about a campaign journal to track it all? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And inside that campaign journal is quick reference. You got a party sheet. You got hexploring notes. You got a little bit of grids, Sunken Castle of the South, some delving notes, and you got this reference guide in the back. And you're like, oh, let me get my reading glasses. No need, friends, because Max also sent the complete quick reference guide along with it. Yeah, for a solo player, this is like, we call it paper gold. Now, one thing I am interested in, and Max, I'm curious to know if we are allowed to listen to Cthulhugans while we're doing this. I don't want to violate any copyright because I've gotten some copyright troubles recently, so I don't want any more of those. Then we got some additional optional hexploring tables. Just, do you feel the robustness? We have marsh encounters, we have hills encounters, and hills creatures, and forest encounters, and forest creatures. And to top it all off, Max went ahead and sent the Demon Lord expansion. The Demon Lord expansion for use with 12 years. We have some additional hero archetypes in it of the sorcerer, the hunter. We have some new loot, some new magic. And I don't want to go too far in that in case there's any spoilers. But Max, in all seriousness, thank you so much. I can't wait to give this a playthrough. I'm going to play it on my own, just to kind of get the vibe of that. And yeah, I'm very excited and really appreciate it. So that's Max Moon, everybody. Now, another thing that I picked up recently, I was a little miffed, I gotta say, when I supported this Kickstarter, but I shouldn't have been, because in actuality, the system that they use, I've since found out, is a pretty common system. Basically, I backed this Kickstarter for this Delve deck, which is like a quick dungeon deck. And when it fulfilled, it was like, hey, here's your certificate. You can go ahead and order this printed from DriveThruRPG at cost. And I was like, excuse me, baking powder. And they said, yeah, this is a very popular system. What you do is we give you, the deck at cost for what you paid for the Kickstarter, and then you just pay for printing and shipping. And I literally never heard of that, but the more I've looked into it, this is pretty common, it looks like. And I suppose it makes sense, because the amount that I kickstarted it for was pretty low. It was like $10 or something like that. I ended up paying like another $8 for the printing and shipping. It got here pretty fast. But this is BPB Games. Not sure what that stands for. 53 totally unique monsters. So this is another one. You can get a deck of monsters. If you want to check that out, you can look at that there. And then this is the Delve deck, written by Kyle Carty, and graphic design by Jamie Trosin, art by Eric Palmer, and Creative Commons. Creative Commons is one of the best artists. They're always putting out really good stuff. So yeah, a little bit of instruction here, a couple ideas, a couple example dungeons, different danger levels, some monster types, some traps. So really, you could take this deck and really, if you're willing to, implement, what is this, a new thing I'm saying, after everything. You could probably build out a solo game just with these. If you know what you're doing, But yeah, essentially these are just numbered, interestingly, DD20. Yeah, so these are all numbered cards, and you can quickly, depending on the dungeon size, put together something for a quick crawl. I really like this actually for when I'm GMing more than solo gaming. Only because sometimes my players will be like, you pass by a house on your way to the treacherous skeleton's grotto. And then next to the house is a small garage and there's a windmill. And they're like, we want to go to that garage. I'm like, well, hold on a second. There's a windmill and it's got a shimmering. We want to go in the garage. And I'm like, okay, let's go in the garage. And I got to whip up a garage really quickly. Man, can you imagine if this was your garage? Where would you park? All right, so your car gets lifted up here. And then this is motorcycles. This is probably where you keep your tank. This is where you keep your car that has Knight Rider level AI. And over here, this is where you keep an AI replica of your wife who you won't let die. I mean, she's dead, but you still, you're trying to, you keep saying, I will find you a suitable vessel. It's very disturbing. Stay tuned. So that's the Delve deck. Curious if anyone has anything similar. I can't imagine that there's not other things like this, but it just popped up on my feed, and every once in a while I was like, yeah, I think I'll take it. I think I will. Thanks. Okay. What else did I want to show all of you? Yes. I think I already showed you that I got the full set now of Outsiders and Notorious. There's got to be a third one coming, right? Always Checkers. I do love the binding of this. have any of you played this game? You know, when I look through it, I have part of me is like, man, this looks so nice and simple and straightforward and clean. But there's also a part of it that I don't know. It's this weird feeling I get when I'm reading solo books sometimes where I feel that they're like limited. Like I just have this feeling I'm not going to encounter many unique moments. But I think that's a bit of a prejudice. I have no reason to believe that, so that's like pretty bad press. I shouldn't have said that. But they have this interesting reaction table where you like have different actions that you can do. If you're a local, you can speak to them, you can recruit them, but you can't threaten or attack them. If you meet a hostile, you can't speak to them, you can threaten, attack, but you can't recruit them, etc. So, not ready to put it on the docket yet, but I have a feeling. That there will be a moment where this is what happens with a lot of my solo games. I'll be sitting there one day, and all of a sudden I'll be like, out of nowhere, I'll say, "Yep, I feel like playing that now," and I'll pull it out and start playing. Okay, the good news, and I was very excited about this, but I lost some steam on it, not completely. Was putting together a Symbaroum solo set, and I think I have what it takes. Put me in, coach. I have what it takes. But I'm very excited to say, I want to keep this secret, so I'm going to keep this one here, that I have everything now. Everything I wanted to be rip-roaring and ready to go with this solo. So I have the core rulebook. I have a soft cover of it, which I'm like, I really want a hardcover. And then I'm like, come on. You can't keep doing stuff like that. Which is spending frivolously when it's like, I already have the book. The PDF should be good enough. Okay. So I don't need the hardcover and a softcover. I have the GM's guide. I have the Monster Codex, which turned out to be an all-star when it came to solo resources. I got the Advanced Player's Guide. So in terms of the non-5e conversion, this is pretty much the 4 core books. Not, of course, there's a 6-part adventure for it, which has some mixed reviews. I do have that in PDF form. There's some adventure packs. But there's a lost resource that I hunted down, and I had a great deal of avarice for this resource. I wanted it. I craved it. And I was able to procure it, not in the best condition, but I also got the final piece of my ability to solo Symbaroum, which is the Monsters and Traits Dex. And I am so jazzed about this. On one side, well, it's a little bit hard to see. And in fact, I don't always remember it, but they are actually divided very subtly by the back of the cards. And I have to look to see what's what. But you can see, it's like at first glance, all the cards look the same. But they are divided amongst, I think there's actually an instruction card in here. Oh, okay. So there's 4 categories, 63 creature cards complete with stats and tactics, and divided into the categories Bright Davokar, Dark Davokar, Corrupt Davokar, and Wilderness. And so depending on where you are in the game, you can draw a card, and that roughly translates into ability level. You know, as you get deeper into Davokar, you're going to have, more gruesome encounters. But yeah, these cards, they are really, here's the Wraith Owl. They're very thorough. And I just, to me, having the ability to just flip a card, have an encounter, that streamlines these solo mechanics in my head so well. Jeez, that looks like a xenomorph. I have no way of knowing. I do wish that it's said on there whether it was like dark. I mean, I could just easily compare it to the book, but yeah. So basically, and then I wonder. Okay, Spring Elf. The cards are in very good shape. The box is has seen better days, but the cards are in very good shape. Okay, so that's one. And then I think this one is Dark Davokar. How to use. How you and your group, and this is amazing because this is not even available, I believe, on the Free League website anymore. There is a GM screen, which I want to get. Again, I have the PDF of that, and it actually is really good GM screen. And there's an amazing website called the Iron Pact that has tons of good resources. Unfortunately, they stopped updating around 2020, which I kind of get it. I think, there hasn't been too much movement on Symbaroum since then. I hope there is more soon. But in addition to, before the session, the GM prepares by picking out the warranted cards to avoid having to browse through the books. The Game Master lets the players draw cards to create random encounters, possibly limited to a certain environment. In this case, it is important to customize the number of creatures to the character's combat proficiency, right? So that's a big thing. Is like there's pretty good measurements inside the book. But then you have these traits cards, which you can either add to another combat, or you can almost like, if you were soloing, you could pull a couple of these traits out and just like create a monster based on these traits, right? So diminutive and a grappling tongue. What does that say? The creature is small. The creature has a long tongue, which we can use to attack. I'm hearing a killer frog. Gravely cold, harmful aura. Ooh, dated a few people with harmful auras. Haunting, infectious, infestation. Yeah, so this is very cool. And then killer shrub. Old killer shrub. So these are all the trait cards, it looks like. So we could put that on one side, actually. And actually, I want to put the directions on top. And then we should have, I guess it's based on like the brightness of the card. But I'm betting this is Bright Davokar. And then I think this is Dark Davokar because there's less of them. So there's a lot of bright ones in here, which makes sense. I mean, that's like most of your encounters will be that. And then I think this one is... So it's either, let me review. It's either Bright, Dark, Corrupt, and Wilderness. So, this actually might be Wilderness. And then this might be Bright, which is like a guy. And then this probably is Dark. And then I'm betting that this is Corrupt because it looks corrupted. And I'm just comparing like... This is an abomination. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this choking Undyne is a toughness of 30, 15, 11. Yeah. So that's pretty bad, but let me take a look at these. If you're just listening right now, don't worry about it. Nothing matters, man. It's all just a mirage. Yeah, this looks about 10 to 15 as well. Okay. So yeah, I think that this is the final piece in the puzzle in a lot of ways for me to put together my solo play of this. I have some really cool ideas for this. One of the things, and I don't think it was the Iron Pack, but one of the linked websites, what they were trying to do is convert this into Forbidden Lands play, which I really think Free League should have done rather than, again, I get it with the 5e thing, you got to follow that money, especially if you're not the top dog. But I really, really think that a Year Zero engine could be really cool with this game, because one of the things that is very divisive about Symbaroum is the core, not the... So there's a 5e conversion of this called Ruins of Symbaroum, which looks like they give more support to now, unfortunately. But with it would be really cool if they re-released it with like a Year Zero engine, because medicine brain. One of the things that people say is the balance of this game is really messed up. Some people love that, but a lot of people will say that there's a certain point in the game where you have the right skills, you have the right weapons, and every encounter you have, you're just wrecking everybody. So I'd be curious. I really hope they keep working on this game because I just find it so captivating. I just find it so utterly captivating. The art style, everything is just so vivid and gorgeous. And the story, the more I've read about the lore, it just seems so awesome. And so I really, now that I'm feeling well, I want to put together like a playlist of the order that I'm going to be doing playthroughs of different games. I'm going to pause this for 1 second just so I could put this down without banging the microphone. Okay, just two little other things. I did go yesterday to a used bookstore, and I got for $5. I don't know if anyone is interested in Fantasy Flight. Now, the binding is... God, why is it thumbs upping? The binding is a little bit loose, of course, but this is a 2008 Black Crusade rulebook, which this is... 1 second. This is a Warhammer role-playing game. And this, I think, is the last one of 4. And the other ones being Horus Heresy of this series was Dark Heresy, Rogue Trader, Death Watch, Black Crusade. And will I ever play this game? No. But I love having anything that has like old, especially like early Warhammer 40k lore, just because sometimes they didn't have everything together, so to speak. And this has just got some fantastic stuff in it. And some really cool abilities and some art that doesn't show up a lot of other places. 40k art is incredible. But yeah, I just saw this and I think I could probably flip it pretty easily. I'm seeing it for like $30 on eBay, but let's be honest, I probably won't do that. And then the other thing, this is kind of a shot in the dark, but I'm wondering if anyone is a fan of Joe Abercrombie. This is the blade itself. I've heard really, really good reviews for Joe Abercrombie in general, fantasy, and I'm just curious if anyone else has read any of that. Okay. And then finally, before we get into the contest winners, the last thing is I think we are about a month away from my Dragonbane solo game, and it's coming along really, really well. We have some awesome art in here from John's World Art, some new cover photos coming, some really cool companion systems and coherence checks. And so I've learned a whole lot just about Affinity Publisher and all that jazz. But yeah, this has been pretty much the only thing that I've been able to consistently work on while I was under the weather because I had no voice. Okay, so let me just turn that off because Affinity Publisher takes up a whole lot of RAM, and it looks like we will be at exactly 30 minutes. That's great. All right, so we will now begin the awards section. I did get some official sound effects to celebrate these awards, but I I bought budget sound effects, and I guess you kind of get what you pay for. So I got 2 sound effects, and I hope that they do the trick. Let's just see what they sound like here. Here's the first one.
Yay!
That's it. And then the second one is
Yay!
So they were both called Yay, so I thought they would be, but
Yay!
that's not really good.
Yay!
Damn it. All right, so next time, kind of try before you buy or whatever, but hopefully that makes the people who are winners feel celebrated, and everyone who submitted should really feel proud of yourselves. Because shut the hell up. Let's just get into it. So, like I said, there were close to 90 entries. I obviously can't feature them all. I did group some of them together just along themes because just so everyone knows, just because I know quite a fair amount of people who follow this channel, I didn't want to have any favoritism, and so I outsourced the voting and anonymized it. But my only requirement was that there would be 3 spots for U.S. people and 3 spots for people who are not in the U.S., and that's for shipping. And so there will be 6 winners. And I was able to group some of the people on my own. What I did is I just put together some by themes. If you put your YouTube handle in there, I did include that, but some people put like their names. And even though I think I made it pretty clear that I would be featuring this on the channel, I just didn't want to share anyone's full name just in case they weren't comfortable with that. And so some of the names I did just use like first name, last initial. I find a lot of these really funny, and I think some of them are intentionally funny and some of them maybe are unintentionally funny. But I just want everyone to know that like I love you all for this. This is great. I'm not laughing at anybody or anything like this, but there were some really hilarious trends and themes and stuff like that. So I do have a list. I think it has about half. It has 48 total. And before we go to the 6 winners, I just want to go over some of the categories of people, just sort of honorable mentions. If you're not listed on the video, I do apologize. I'm not even going to be able to read everything from those who I am featuring here. But I just wanted to show some different things. Okay, so the first thing, for everybody, honorable mention.
Yay!
Great.
Yay!
Okay. Let's see here. So we will do the. Why can't I figure out which one this is? Hold on a second. Okay, I got it. All right, so the first thing is that this was pretty wild. 6 different people put in a Bible or something related to the Bible. And I have to say, this one was only Bible in name because it's really using any book. And I do love the D10,000. I would love to see the D10,000. And yeah, so I'll make no more comment on that, but I did just find that interesting. So that one was the Bible crew. Next up, I had this crew I said is people who are ahead of their time. And by that, I mean, some of these ideas are, I'm reading some of them and I'm like, I don't know if this doesn't make sense at all, or it's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard, or if the person thought they were filling out something else. But I just had to mention some of these. Saint Solo, a washing machine that was never picked at the store, breaking out with intent to break into the houses and clean laundry. So What's interesting about this is like the let's just talk really quick. So what's interesting about the assignment here was to like tell me an object you could solo with. But some people like incorporated they wanted to do a solo game about the object, like about the story of the object, which I just found so interesting. So we have like a washing machine, um, and it's unclear whether you're role playing as the washing machine if you are to imagine. Anyways, next we have from Bug Zero, you have to solo a mobile coffee shop in the back of a Fiat multiple. I mean, I think, but I'm trying not to pronounce it in the predict. It was left to you by a rich uncle who always dreamed to have a coffee shop. And then the instructions for it, it's like, is this a game encounter or should I actually take my Fiat to a coffee shop? Do I have to have, okay, do I have to have a Fiat to play? This one, by no name given, the players get lost in a mall and somehow end up on a roller coaster. And when you try to get out, instead, the roller coaster, it does not, it does not let you out in your design try. You can shimmy in the coaster to let you out to your store, but you have to get that to the coaster. I don't even really know. So it's a roller coaster in a mall? Do I use that to solo or is that like the game universe I'm in? Okay, from the Reverend. I'll solo Ron the chicken. Yes, that one. I don't know. Okay. Hold on. I let me just I want to be able to kind of gesture a little bit here while I'm doing this. So I don't know who Ron the chicken is. I don't know who that is. So to say like, yes, that one, who is Ron the chicken? Can you ride it like a steed or will it become pizza? It's like lasers and feeling, but it's ride or pizza. Modifiers are dependent on the character physical size. The bigger you are, the harder it is to ride that chicken. But you need much more pizzas. So where are the other 4 chickens? Okay, I'll see myself out. Okay. Woody. Okay, Crispy says Woody from Toy Story. You could use some random tables and set up the initial scenarios, but would ask questions to Woody and use his responses. But this is assuming that Woody is real, right? Okay. And then new datum. Bananas. Play banana and then eat banana. Win. Which I have a category that I was trying to put together of like food and drink, but I had to put this one in ahead of its time. All right, this next one is people who these games are really best played on one's personal time. So let's see. We have Ichiban using the bathroom. Roll d6 to determine if you have to do number 1 or 2. Odds go to 1, even number for 2. From there, you have even odd rolls for lifting or dropping the toilet seat. Negative modifier for a drop, making noise. You have an aim roll. For number 2, you can roll to see what type of poop you have. And if you have diarrhea, it's a negative modifier. There could be splatter rolls. Then would be the washing hands roll. Everyone should wash their hands, but you can roll to see if you wash and then roll to see how clean your hands are. Again, am I doing this as the game or am I like, is this what's happening in the game and I'm rolling dice? Okay. Ike D5402 says expired generic anti-diarrhea medicine. Your life and HP are the number of pills left in the bottle. You will accompany the player to eat food from suspicious places, truck stop, sushi, school lunch, modifiers to fate mill rolls based upon level of hangover. What the hell? So, okay. And then we have AR, I didn't put your whole last name, but nose and ear hairs. Success is based on pulling a number of hairs closest to a target number. The number of hairs pulled can be used to reference an oracle table. Even a simple odd even equals yes, no. The pulled hairs can also be used as tokens or miniatures as long as there isn't a strong wind or sneezing. Okay, Dave Dwin. Shower time. Your player realizes they smell funny. Do they take a shower, a bath, wash up, put on some deodorant, perfume, cologne, a combination of those, just ignore it, or maybe go to bed? Once that decision is made, do they soak, use soap, use a washcloth, use the old smelly, use a loofah, or just rub a bar, or just rinse off? Do they relax? Does something attack them? A dog just mauls you in the shower. Do they towel dry, air dry, fall on their butt when they get out, fall on their face when they get out? Do they get attacked? Do they have clean underwear? I should say at this point, this was sort of the upper limit. Well, I had to have some upper limit because I recommended 3 lines, and I do have a special mention for somebody who exceeded that limit quite a bit that I'll talk about later. This is a person whose name sounds like excuse you. Your handle sounds like that. And this is the hope you're okay category. So this one will be using childhood trauma. Imagine role-playing your childhood with your current mentality, knowing all the things you know. Ooh, this would be so therapeutic. Iron Sworn, powered by the apocalypse with a big flavor theme overhaul. I was born in the 90s, so the time period would be accordingly. I hope you're okay. And also, just call me Matt. A safe, probably Nerf revolver with several bullets. So, so you just have a Nerf gun and you just play Russian roulette? Like, what's the game? What's the game, Matt? All right, this one is making a mess. Micah ray gun. Okay, my dog's chewed up lamb chop toy. Have you seen these before? It's like a tiny sheep thing. About 2 years ago, I switched to only buying lamb chops for my dog, and it's been great. The abdomen of the little plush sheep is grayed by the kind of putrid slime that can only be produced by a 10-year-old chihuahua who has had many rotten teeth pulled and is working on rotting the remaining ones. Oh, it has a squeaker that really puts my dog into a frenzy. The item's putrescence is commendable. The sheep that it represents is doomed to a cycle of torment by the chihuahua and occasional respite. All right, druidic habit, a pencil sharpener. This one, I was like, this could be pretty good. Like, you're constantly just sharpening a pencil and looking at the droppings, but I'm wondering, like, how many pencils do I need for the game? Dice tails, a lump of plastic for my oracle. Not talking days here, literal lump of plastic. Can I post a picture? I like that it just be in the description, it becomes lump of plastic. So as far as I understand from this, you just take a lump of like melted plastic and just drop it on the ground. And if you get it in a square, it's a crit. Ike D, oh, sorry, that's an anti-diarrhea medicine. That's a mistake. I don't know how that showed up again there. Okay, this one, these 3 were just based, I call them tribute to the king category, but these are fairly well-fashioned ones that involve my YouTube channel. And I don't really... Okay, let's see. I can solo roleplay with Man Alone YouTube channel. Vaguely similar to the infinite monkey typewriter theory, the amount of words contained in a Man Alone videos can be used to create a solo RPG. The YouTube channel may be used as a different few oracles for binary answers. Start at random. Play for 10 seconds. If you hear girlfriend or he cracks a joke, the answer is yes. Else the answer is no. Do I mention my girlfriend? And I was supposed to do a video, and now I'm saying she's sick. So Is this like a narrative that I just made her up? I hope she sees this. This will be a challenge. Okay. I guess you'll never know. This one was real. These are all just ones that were stage and screen. Very nice. Nature calling. I love this. I love Georock. Solo roleplay a tree. I have to go back to Accidental DMs, the movie March of the Penguins. So this is like whenever Morgan Freeman stops talking, a calamity must occur. So he's talking nonstop. Oh, dude. I do not want to see or even think about a penguin coat. Okay. Ray R, a houseplant. Yeah. Oh, interesting. But Ray, is that is that a solo game? So wait, you start. Yeah, that's a solo game. You're trying to get a sunny location before dark. Roll your dice. That's how far you could hop. so, so you are hopping. So I guess that's more of a game, right? But you know what? That's fine. Um, I'm gonna scroll past that one because I think. Okay, there was plenty about food and drink. Caroline L. A cake and sweet pudding recipe book. Um, this one, okay, so this one was part of actually a category of ones that I was like, this might work. like this, like there were ones that I was like, okay, and then I read it, I was like, that actually might be a good system. Like that might work. Use the measurements for rolls. I assume you mean dice rolls. And words or sentence or pictures for answers to questions. Close your eyes and randomly flick to a page. Then, with eyes still closed, randomly put your finger down on the open page. Closest to your finger is the option. For more chaos, with eyes closed, randomly turn the book around a few times. So if the book's upside down, do I have to read the word upside down? Okay, I had to look up what Whitman's was. I actually know what Whitman's is. I thought you meant like a sample from Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, but this is like a chocolate box. This one I think is great. How does the mouth feel and taste inspired? Conniving Goose Games, Fortune Cookies. Yeah, that's a very good one. Oh, this one didn't. Let me try to open it a little bit. I don't know why it smushed it down. I like this. A dog biscuit. The values are derived from the latter's alphabetical position. Flipping the biscuit determines events. If face up encounter battle. What if it breaks? The dog biscuits just like shatter. Okay, Lacritz Ploppet. Spin a bottle of hard liquor and ask the spirits, magic user working the magic item factorium, or the engineers responsible for filling up a dungeon. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like that. Put a Ouija board in that too. All right, these are the ones I found like existentially intriguing. So Bleak House wants to play with my very soul. 7 stats related to the Judeo-Christian vices and virtues. Like it after a frank and honest self-evaluation. I have to succeed at a task related to an appropriate moral stance. See, this is so interesting. So you actually have to sin if you do this wrong. You actually have to be a glutton. What I find this really interesting is I talked about with my friends like solo, like role playing something that helps you, like getting on an exercise routine or something like that. And I was like, this would be impossible to do without being like extremely controversial, and also the liability of it if you like rolled a crit fail and had to like run on a treadmill until you passed out. So my lawyer says to stay away from that one. Badarmak, this one was so interesting. So you play the announcement the train will arrive late. You must explain why the train will be late with as much words as minutes of delay. Example, the train will be arriving with a delay of 7 minutes. You could say, the driver drank too much last night. That's so interesting. Because also, can you only do this when you're waiting for a train? And then do you have to finish it by the time the train gets there? This one, I was like, maybe I shouldn't put this on if this person's actually shy. But this one was like, whenever I turn into someone I know on the street, I look them in the eye. If they see me, I must salute them. I must salute them. If not, I continue walking. So does that mean like wave, or do you have to give them like a chivalric, like revealing eyes salute? If they respond with a simple hi or how are you, I must answer back, fine, thanks. Hope we meet again or have a chance to grab a coffee or something, and then continue walking as if nothing happened. So do you wait for their response? And also, is this a solo RPG game, or is this just something you do, like a prank or something? Okay, hold on. Let's look to the side. Yeah, this is how you use the fate mail over here. I must salute, and I'm forced a couple minutes of small talk. Yeah, I like this. See, this is the kind of stuff that should be self-improvement solo gaming. Gray Army Gaming. My grandmother's random meandering and loquacious chat messages. You begin by opening the chat and scrolling down to a random point. The first substantive word you see is the starting narrative thread. If the chat ends with a word with an odd number of letters, scroll up. Even scroll down, find a new narrative thread and continue. Scroll and pick a random word. Consonants and vowels cancel each other out, with remaining letters being interpreted in the following manner. One vowel no, but two vowels no, but. Oh, I see. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, and it would your grandmother, I would assume, be like the main character. And then these last three, before we get into the medal winners, is Out and About. These are just ones to do outdoors. Use petals as oracle. Well, I guess that the shyness one should have been there too. So after you spin the pedals, character moves. So this is for a tandem bike. I'm curious. More pedals, the better. Like, so would you put like a 7-person tandem? That's very, I just want to say, maybe that's a bit existentially interesting, because a tandem bike is not the first thing I think of for solo playing. Sit Frog Sit, traffic. Okay, colors of two cars as a spark table for events. Example, blue car and orange car, that's B&O. Build plus oracle. You're trying to stop a cultist from sacrificing a villager. Last digit of license plates for stats, target numbers, and rolls. Again, actually good. That's actually good. So many of these are actually good. Some of them, maybe not. Sentient Soup. Cloud surfing. Finding shapes in the clouds and making a story from them. Yes, I think this one is beautiful. And I think this is the first solo game that everybody plays. So before I go on to the winners, I just want to mention a special shout out, Harris Zark. Harris, I took your submission, and I just want to say, I'm going to post the entirety of it in this video's description, because I'm not certain you fulfilled the contest challenge, but you wrote 454 words of a Call of Cthulhu RPG, and it's pretty good. So if you want to read Harris's RPG, Harris, if you don't want me to put it in the description, you can tell me, I'll take it down. But I thought that I couldn't have it on here. I think it would have, even putting it on this page, it widened out all of the columns and cells to the point that the page was unreadable. But you get the honorable mention for writing almost a small book. Okay, the winners. So the way we're going to do this is the first winners that we're going to do are going to be the international winners, and we'll do like bronze, silver, gold. Now, I originally only had 2 prizes for each, but I did come up with some additional prizes. So the first person that wins the bronze international is Sibelius, who wants to solo a cactus. Oh, let's give Sibelius a... Oh no, my little yays aren't working. Okay, here we go.
Yay!
Okay. Run the cacti. It will function as a yes-no oracle in a skill check. For a very likely yes or success answer, try to touch the skin of the cactus with great care without hurting yourself. On the other extremist, for a very unlikely yes answer, close your eyes and try to touch the skin of the cactus with great speed. If you prick yourself, it's a no. If it only hurts a little bit, it's a no but. If there's any blood, it's an extreme no. Not all cacti are the same. So an alternative is you arrange your collection of cacti. Of course, everyone should have some. What's a solo player without one or more cacti? Place them in order of prickliness, and in that way, you may scale the outcome of the cacti even further. The possibilities are limitless. Hell, you can even address them while playing or recording to feel a little less awkward with your little cacti friends to speak to. So congratulations, Sibelius. The judges awarded you the Bronze International. Now, I did not announce this one. However, you also included a nice little note with yours that said, oh, I don't want to win anything. I just want you, what did you say? You said, please don't spend any money. I just want to see if you play that can of happy peas. In Dutch, we call them doper. How do you say that? Dopertwen? Dopertwen? Can you say that? Ah, light bulb. If I get picked out, I'd rather like you to pronounce that instead of sending my prize. Have fun. Well, not only am I going to say dopert. How do you go from R to W? Ruten? I can't do it. But in addition to that, Sibelius, for your bronze medal win, you are awarded. You will be placed as a sticker somewhere. Let's see a good spot here for Sibelius. The Sibelius Memorial label will be placed on the playing board, and we will put it, let's see, right here looks good. Very nice. That is the Sibelius Memorial label. Congratulations on your bronze medal. And oh, here.
Yay!
Okay. All right. Going back. All right. The silver medal is by a screen name handle that is so long I had to make it a smaller font. This is the RHINOVIRUS scaloniform. Wild animals, things like pigeons, foxes, and seagulls. Go and visit a place, any place. The animals you will see will depend on the place. If you would like, take a notebook and some way to take photos. You imagine all the animals you see around you as different characters. I normally go with a grimy secret city underbelly where the animals, for me, usually pigeons and seagulls, are characters in different factions and are fighting over control of the animal city. You could have a fantasy animal world with different species living in peace and going on wonderful adventures. Focus in on an animal or a group of animals and imagine what they are doing. Imagine their motivations, their loves, needs. I'm right there with you. I love it. We should all be using, oh, nice mention of the Fate Mill. So the Rhizinosaurus scaloniform. You have procured the silver award. And so as long as you have sent me your email, which by the way, if you did win, please make sure I'll see who has an email, but if you didn't include your email, please send an email to amanalone@proton.me, especially you, because your award, of course, is a Bell Whispers PDF from that is going to be this. Oh, the camera is not on. Bell Whispers PDF will be sent right from Tower House Creative. So I will give them your email and they will send you that. Okay. And the next award, this is a crummy version of it. The final gold medal for international is a $15 gift card, digital gift card to Drive Through RPG. I think, we'll see who the winner of this is, but I think get in touch with me. I think there's a little bit of a process that we'll have to do to get that to you, but we will be able to get that to you through email. And that is going to be Keller Gazai. Across 1,000 Dead Teeth, a dental floss solo adventure. Roll D20 to see which tooth gap you start from. You can also use D10 6-4 if it's more appropriate, or just flip a coin. We don't judge in the mental health community, depending on your yield. So wait, is this like the stuff that comes out of your teeth? Choose your next action. If your find is unusual, mark 1 progress. The real power of this system is that every day can be different. Just try not to medicate. Yeah, don't be eating like stringy bacon just to get a leg up. So congratulations, Keller Gazai. We'll send you a $15 gift card to Drive Through RPG, or I guess a digital gift, whatever. Okay, next up we have the domestic winners for the bronze medal. Congratulations to Chief McLean. You had incredible specificity, it looks like, and the judges liked it. You want to use the U.S. Army Field Manual 3-05.70, if I'm reading this correctly. And you are a pilot shot down in enemy territory. Can you survive? Use a simple resolution system. Yes, yes, but no. And tell the story of your survival. Pair with other field manuals, 531 booby traps for expansions. And I like, now I was not a voter, but I just want to say personally, I like where I said, how would you use the fate mill? And you just wrote, would slot in perfectly. So congratulations for this. This is another little gift that I added. If you remember way back in time, I did a giveaway on the Master's Relics, which I got a copy. Now this is my copy, but I have a sealed one as well that we'll put in the mail. I needed to send this to Europe and I was not able to send it. It turned out to be cheaper to just buy another one through Amazon, but it got like locked up at a post office. And because of that, it never got there, but I had an extra copy of this. And so a sealed copy of Master's Relics World Crafting Tokens will be yours. Chief McLean, get in touch and we will get that. Let us know a mailing address so that we can get the Master's Relics to you. Congratulations. And for that, this is for everyone. Let's see.
Yay!
All right. And with a silver medal, we have Animite 9965 Kitty Treks, a solo RPG of adventuring with your cat around the yard. In this game, you take on the role of a typical human adult and their cat. Presently, your pet is running around the house at ludicrous speeds and follows that up by trying to send a mass email to your coworkers. That can only mean it's time to harness, backpack, or sling along with your kitty as they patrol about the outside world. Keep a record of the many days spent with your traveling companion and enjoy your time outdoors, so long as a certain someone doesn't get distracted or spooked by one of many randomly generated events that could send a typical walk in an unexpected confrontation with a bird. Sounds about as easy as walking a dog, doesn't it? Well, I'll say so. And I think this, I would assume that we would actually play this by basing it on the behaviors of your cat, unless you become the cat. I don't know, but either way, the judges certainly liked it, and so Animite, you are going to get a Fate Mill from Tower House Creative. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be sealed up. It's going to have all the little stickers and inserts with it. And so again, if you put in an email, I'll send it out to you. But if you want to get ahead of the game and send me an email at amanalone@proton.me so we can get you your Fate Mill. Congratulations.
Yay!
And the gold. Now, for the gold, and again, this is my version because I actually, I'm like moving house right now, so I have to keep everything in very strict order. But, so this is my copy again, but for a sealed copy of the Dragonbane starter set. Congratulations. Provided by Tower House Creative, a $50 value. Congratulations to Turk. I can solo the Macho Man's Randy Savage's album and magnum opus, Be a Man. I wish so bad that I could play this song on this channel right now, but I am almost certain that Randy Savage will do an elbow drop on me. But if you can, right now, do yourself a favor. It's on Spotify. Please look this song up. It's one of the greatest pieces of art ever created. Be a man, Hogan. Okay, so if I remember correctly, because I did watch WCW at the time, this was a call-out rap song by Macho Man Randy Savage. It's literally good. His bars are unreal. To begin, the CD or music player of choice will be played on shuffle, with the first randomized track title being interpreted as the opening scenario prompt. Tear It Up could be interpreted as a combat-rich encounter set in a tavern latrine or as a highly emotional social counter. Then you shuffle through the CD, select a track through randomized shuffle or music player software, roll 1d4 to determine the selected minute of the song, roll 2d6 to determine the second value, and the first word spoken at the determined timestamp is the first oracle answer. Repeat until all questions or conflicts are resolved. Now here's the key spot. A game of this would look exactly as sane and beautiful as it sounds. Also, a baker's dozen of Slim Jims would likely be consumed each session. I promise you, if you're not from the US, you have no idea what that is about. But as soon as you type in Be a Man, Hogan, or Be a Man by Randy Savage on Spotify, great pick by the judges. That is definitely getting
Yay!
as well as a
Yay!
So again, Turk, or anybody who is a winner of one of the prizes, you're all winners, come on, you're all winners, but anyone who's won one of the prizes, please reach out. Again, tomorrow I'll look through the emails, but if you wanted to make it easier on me and you see this now, go ahead and we'll get that out to you as soon as we can. I want to thank the judges for supporting this, even though some of them, well, at least one of them had no idea what even solo RPG gaming was, but it was fun that they learned about it. Great opportunity. The other person was an RPG lover, and the other one was my girlfriend. So I guess whoever's playing that solo game, you have to roll a 1d6 now. Thank you, everybody. Of course, the full experience of this is not over, because as soon as I catch up with everything, and May will be extended a few days this month because, of course, I was ill, and I promised I would role play my Solitary Defilement Morkborg solo session by the end of May. So we'll have to finish that. But the final prize that everybody wins is, of course, I'll be doing a video in which I will be playing a session of solo RPG using this can of sweet peas, which, according to the Dutch, is Doperwten. Doperwten. That can't be real. Doperwten. Lord in heaven. It's good to be back. Sorry if I'm not at my usual speed for this video, but I'm still in the last leg of recuperation. But I couldn't take it anymore. I missed all of you too much. Thank you for everyone, really, seriously, for the supportive comments. Really amazing. And again, everyone who submitted. Take a look at Harris Zark's magnum opus in the description below, because it's like literally a good game. And if we didn't get to you, just please know that I did read and love everybody's submission, and the judges. We all had like a lot of fun. It was really special. So thank you, everybody. We'll be back with some more really fun action soon, and hopefully I'll have a little bit more oomph behind my voice. But other than that, thank you, and happy